Hi, this is Miss Landau again. Today we're going to be working on rounding decimals.
The standard this lesson will cover is use place value understanding to round decimals to any place. The essential question we're working on today is, how can I use place value to round decimals to any place?
Let's activate your knowledge. I have the number here, 3.2456. What's the place value of that 4? What about the place value of the 2? The 3? The 5? That 6 all the way at the end? Think about what you already know about place value, especially with decimals. This is a chart that shows us the place value of certain numbers. Here we have all the way from the millions, hundred thousands, 10,000s, thousands, hundreds, tens, ones. There's that decimal point. These are tenths, hundredths, thousandths, it's hard to say, and 10,000s. All right, so if we go back to that number, let's see if we can figure it out. I know that this 3 is in the ones place. I can see that right here. So it stands for just 3. This is the tenths, so this is 2 tenths, 4 hundredths, 5, that's 3 places over, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So that's 5 thousandths, and it's 6 10,000ths. Let's go on and round up some numbers. See what I did there? Round up some numbers. Just kidding, we're not going to round up some numbers because it could also be rounding down some numbers. Let's round some numbers. Much better. Here we go.
All right, our first number says 2.563, and it wants it to be rounded to the nearest hundredth. If I forgot which place the hundredth is in, we can go on here and check. All right, so it goes tenths and then hundredths. So here I go rounding. To round to the nearest hundredth, I'm going to underline the hundredth place. And then I'm going to look at the number right next to it. That number is a 3. Remember, when we're rounding, if the number is 5 or more, we're going to round up. But if it's 4 or less, it doesn't quite make the cut, and we're going to have to round down. So we're going to have to round this down to just 2.56. Let's try the next one. 4.235. Rounded to the nearest tenth. I remember that the tenth is this first place right here after the decimal point. That's 2 tenths. Okay, I'm going to look at the number right next to it. Don't pay any attention to that 5 over there. Don't let it trick you. We're rounding it with this 3 right here. And that is also going to round down. So I'm just going to have 4.2. You can always check your work, making sure you rounded to the right place by rereading the question. This says nearest tenth. So in my answer, I should only have a tenth, which I do. I have 4.2 tenths. Okay? 0.378 to the nearest hundredth. Here I go again with the hundredth place. Looking at that 8 next door, that is definitely bigger than 5. So I'm going to go ahead and write 0.38. So that 7 is going to be rounded up to 8. 6.8335 rounded to the nearest thousandth. In case I forgot which place the thousandth is, I can check. So it's right after the hundredths. So we have 3 thousandths. I have 8 tenths, 3 in the hundredths place, and 3 in the thousandths place. I have a 5 next to the 3, so I know it's going to round up. So it rounds to 6.834. All right, this one's a little bit sneaky. 6.99, rounded to the nearest tenth. When we underline that tenth place, and we look at the 9 next door, we need to round it up. So if I add 1/10 to this 9, I'm going to have 10 tenths instead of 9 tenths. But 10 tenths is also the same as 1. So instead of adding and making this a 10 right here, I'm going to make it a 1 with the 6 right here, which is going to go to 7. And these are just going to be zeros. So 6.99, since I have those 2 9s in there, is going to round up to 7. And since they want me to write it to the nearest tenth, I'm going to go ahead and write 7.0 tenths. Because there's no more tenths there, we took the 10 tenths and made an extra 1 in the ones place, and that is now 0 tenths. Okay, last one, 5.555, rounded to the nearest thousandth. Here's the thousandth place. All right, so I have the tens, hundreds, thousandths. Well, there's nothing after that thousandths place, so there's an invisible 0 right there. There's nothing there. So it's just going to stay the same. 5.555. Perfect. These problems are going to be your accountability portion to let me know that you were watching, paying attention, and you know how to round decimals now. Go ahead and complete these 6 problems by screenshotting this page, writing your answers to these questions, then sending it to me, either through email or the Google Doc. Feel free to refer back in this video to look at that anchor chart we showed in the Activate Your Knowledge portion if you forget which place value you should be rounding to and what it looks like. Thanks for watching. See you next time.